So it's been 1 month since I changed my office location from my home office to more of a corporate office. And this is my experience. Hey guys, Matilda here. So for some of you that know, who've been following me, know that I recently changed my office, and it's been a month since I moved from my home office to my more corporate office at Sunshare Building on first floor office space. Now, it's been a bit of a transition for me, given the COVID experience of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Most people are doing home office situations. And so now taking my small business into a more formal setting, I started out with a more corporate feel, but I didn't want to take a whole office or a whole building to myself. So I got to Office Space, which I partnered with them. They've sponsored this video. So I got to Office Space, first floor on Sunshare Tower along Katimamulilo Road, Olympia in Lusaka. And so I got an office space. For those of you that don't know what co-office space is or co-working space is, it's basically like I would get a whole room to myself, and the next room is occupied by somebody else, or the next desk is occupied by somebody else. And so we share the costs and, all that stuff. So it's been a month since I changed my office address, and I must say there are a number of benefits that I have seen. So for this video, I will stick to 4 benefits. And remember, this is my experience, but I think this is one that you will benefit from as well, especially if you are doing the home office versus the traditional office and you can't really find which one to pick. There is a place in between, and which is called office space, shared space. So the very first thing that I appreciate and I really do value about the core office space that I'm located is that it is centrally located. The location works really, really well. Number one is for all the movements that I do, remember I am a small business owner, a corporate influencer, and I need a lot of mobility, and I need to be able to get to my central location easily without spending too much time. And so where Sunshare Tower is located, and the first floor, which is office space, it makes it pretty convenient for me to actually come in and out without worrying about traffic jams or congestion building up on the road. It's pretty much centrally located to most of the places that I frequent. So if I need to get to town, it's pretty easy for me because I'm halfway there from where my home is. And also if I need to get to the banks are pretty much across the road for me. So that's very convenient for me, and I really do appreciate that. Secondly, seeing that my business is mostly digital, I create content for you. I have an online learning website, which is pochatribe.com. Access to the internet is something that's really, really critical for my business. So initially, I would manage 2 internet service providers. One would be my primary, and the other would be my backup. And so I would pay for these services monthly. So ever since I came to Office Space, which is along Sunshare Tower, they have high internet speed. I can't say the service provider, but 1 month in, I am really appreciating the service provider, and I think it's also the location, so it makes it easy for the service provider to provide good internet speed. Actually, not just good, but fast internet speed. So instead of me managing 2 service providers, I now just have 1 service provider extra as my backup for when I'm on the move. So this is data that I will need to be mobile with when I leave the office, or when there is, something that needs my attention and I need to really use my private internet. So now my costs have reduced, and as a business owner, cost reduction is a gift. It's something that we value because you're always looking for those opportunities to reduce costs but get the most out of what is prevailing at the time. So for me, that was a cost reduction where I now use 1 service provider as a backup. And of course, as backups, you don't really spend as much money as you would for the primary service provider. So that's one thing I also appreciate so much. Thirdly, I found a sense of community and broadened my network. Just being located at a co-working space, particularly at Office Space co-working space, because this is my first time experiencing this, and so I've really appreciated that. I've had an opportunity to meet new people, to network and broaden my network, which has been awesome. But also a private experience of mine has been that for quite some time, I think in the first couple of weeks when I just started out here, then my neighbor in the next office is actually in a similar industry, and so I like to call those FFs, like friendly forces. So when I discovered that, like, wait, aren't you and I am, so we are in the, it was like, oh yes. So I didn't really have to step out and go to the other side of town for me to get that network or to talk about a business idea. Instead, I just go to the next office, knock, and then we have a quick chat and see what we can do and then go from there. So it's really helped me in that regard. I wouldn't have had that opportunity had I been in a traditional office setting or in my home office. I wouldn't have had that opportunity to, have quick access to a colleague in the industry or broaden my network in the way that I have. So that is something that I value a lot. Fourthly, I found that the social amenities are something that I also appreciated. Number one is, first of all, I'm not a coffee person, right? But I'm a tea person. So having access to a lot of tea whenever I want, and just that access to, that homely feel. I can quickly change my environment when I'm tired of my desk appearance. I can go to a booth, I can go to another desk and just refresh my mind. It has really benefited me a lot. And also you can also see that I like to record content. So the lighting is pretty good for me and I really appreciate that. So another thing is that I have access to the boardrooms and the training room. So whenever I need to have a bit of a formal meeting with a number of people, I can go to the boardroom and do my presentations and have my meetings there, or have access to a training room where I have a larger group of people and actually host my training group over there. So that's something I've really appreciated, and it's something that I wouldn't ordinarily have set up in my traditional type of office setup or in my home office, because that would have really just conflicted with how a home office operates. So basically, that has been my 1 month experience, specifically at Office Space Co-working Space on the first floor of Sunshare Tower. If you are coming from the home office and you don't want the really traditional office space, this could be a good break while you are still trying to figure things out. It could be a good resource place as well for you. Then if you have the traditional office space and you just want a breather to reset, I found that whenever I change locations, when I'm tired or feeling drained or can't think too creatively, I change my environment. So maybe I go to the training room and just look for something to inspire me, or I go to the boardroom and look at the view, just something to refresh my mind, and I find that my creative juices start flowing. So it would be very good for you if you are in the traditional office space setup. You could take some time out and try out a co-working space and find that it works for you. So that has been my experience. Remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel as I bring you more awesome content. So guys, see you soon. Bye bye.